Hi everyone. So we are here today in Blackpool. We were lucky enough to get some Britain's Got Talent tickets for the 5:30 showing tonight. So we've come to see the auditions for Britain's Got Talent. I just wanted to explain how easy it was for us to get tickets. So we have managed to get tickets to Applause Store. So if you don't follow them, or if you're interested in going to see some or being part of an audience as part of a show, then check out Applause Store. They're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X now, and they do also have a website. So you log in, you apply for your tickets, and then if you are successful, they send you an email with your ticket on. But we managed to actually just park right near Winter Gardens in Blackpool, and literally just walk around the corner, and the stewards are in like silver jackets, you can't miss them. There was quite a large queue, so Luke actually has an access card that we got through disability, or Nimbus disability should I say, earlier on last year. So we spoke to the steward and they said, oh yeah, that's absolutely fine. We went down a shorter queue that was just to the right hand side. Obviously this can be different in different places where Applause Store are giving the tickets out, but we were literally waiting for maybe like a minute and a half, and it was just straight down. We got a wristband, which I've got on, but it's freezing, so they're covered up by my gloves, and then we just carried on going, and then they gave us a ticket which had the seats on. We did actually ask for an aisle seat, just in case we do need to get out as part of the show. We're not disturbing anybody, but they did give us an aisle seat, absolutely no problem. And we've got a few hours now to spare, so we've got to go back for 5:45 tonight, and then we will show you where you need to go if you do have any accessibility needs. We won't be able to record inside, but we can give you a little bit of an update afterwards. Yeah, we'll see you soon. Good morning everybody. So it's actually the next day after we've watched Britain's Got Talent last night, and instead of us doing a video after the event last night, we thought we'll just do one today because it did take us a little bit of a while to get home. So I'll go through how we got into the venue, into Winter Gardens, the car park where we parked for the day, and generally how the atmosphere was, and how Applause Store were for you. So if you do ever go, you'll have a bit of a better idea. So following on from the video that I did yesterday, as I said, with the ticket exchange, it only took us a minute and a half to get our wristbands and also our ticket. The general queue was a little bit longer, so if you are going, it does take a little bit of a while if you are queuing. However, it didn't seem excessive. They were getting people through quite quickly by what we saw. But yeah, like Luke's got an access card. He's also got a hidden disability lanyard, which he just showed, and they really recognised that at the ticket exchange, which were great. And then they asked us to come back at 5:30, 5:45, which is what we did. So when we went back, people were already going into Winter Gardens. And as you can imagine, there was about 3,000 people there, I think, last night. So one of the Applause Store members of the team who we were just chatting to, they did say that it was full capacity, which is about 3,000 people. So it was really busy. And on the website, on Applause Store, it does say that for people who have accessibility needs and need step-free access, if you've got an access card, then these are separate entrance that you can use. Now, when we got there, I spoke to one of the stewards who works for Winter Gardens, I think. So they weren't part of Applause Store. And I just said that, Luke's got an access card, and it did say, that it was a separate entrance. Where do we go? And they just directed us further up the main queue to one of the Applause Store members of the team. When we spoke to them, the gentleman just kind of let us jump in to the general queue, so a little bit further down the queue, so we weren't going right to the top and then back in. So he did let us queue jump, which we wouldn't recommend in other places, but the member of the team let us do that there. So he let us go in. We were in the main queue. Now it was very, very busy when you got in. So they were doing bag checks, which were absolutely fine. They were really thorough. I just had my little bag with me, so they just checked that. And then once you get through like the main entrance bit, which is quite small, it's not very big, then you straight up just a few stairs and then into the main area where the show is. There was plenty of members of the team there to direct you to your seat and tell you where to go. So at the time, Luke was a little bit, he got a little bit nervous then, just to try and find our seat and make sure that we were sat in the right place. But the team were great. They just told us exactly where to go and where our seats were. And we were actually in the stalls on row W, and we did ask for an aisle seat, as I mentioned earlier on, just in case we needed to get out and to go to the toilet or just to have a little bit of a break. We weren't disturbing people that were then in the row. So because we were in row W, we thought we were going to be quite near the back when we got our tickets, and we were on seat number 29 and 31. And when I looked at the tickets, I was like, are we sat next to each other? But it turns out they're in odd, on that row it was all odd numbers, so we were. And it was great. Like once we kind of, find out where we were, sat down, it were really like the actual vibe of the place were really chilled out and really relaxed. And Luke felt really, really comfortable being there. So the atmosphere were great. I think if you were in the middle of the rows, and if you do struggle sometimes with like claustrophobia or, kind of feeling generally, a little bit like trapped if there's people around you, then, I can completely understand that. But when you do get your tickets, if you do just ask for an aisle seat, and if they have got one, they will definitely, Applause will definitely support you with that. So once we were kind of sat down, the first audition was actually being set up on the stage, which was really great to see. It was really interesting to see like the back, everything that happens in the background and things that you don't normally see on TV. And there was, before we came in, there was a concession stand as well. So with like drinks and everything that you could need, popcorn. So it was like going to the cinema, really. It were really nice. But yeah, so there was somebody that was like looking after the audience in between all the auditions, and really just getting people going. And it were a really nice place. A really nice atmosphere to be part of. And once it had finished, once we came out, it was really, it was really, really busy. Now, the one thing that I would say is that for Winter Gardens, so the team were great. The team was so lovely. Everybody that we spoke to were really nice. But coming out, it was really, really crowded. And for people that struggle with that or do struggle with mobility, I'd say just sit back and wait until other people left, and then you've got a little bit more time. Now, in our situation, because we were on the end of an island where we were, there were people that were trying to, were waiting to kind of get out. And because it was so busy, we felt like we couldn't just exit the seat, let them go, and then us just sit back down. So we were in amongst everybody. And it were okay in that scenario last night, but in other situations sometimes it can be quite daunting when there's quite a lot of people and waiting to get out. But everybody were being really patient, and there wasn't any problems. But it's it's not a big area, it's not a big space, so trying to get everybody out of one venue, out of one side, it's it can be quite tight. But once we were out, it were absolutely fine. There were plenty of people around. And we actually parked at the Hounds Hill Shopping Centre car park, and it is a multi-storey car park. And there's plenty of car parks around Blackpool that are outdoors and public car parks. But because we knew we were going to be quite late when we came out, we thought, okay, we'll park in a multi-storey. Because it's really cold as well, we felt, okay, we wouldn't need to de-ice the car. And also a little bit safer as well. So if you are either on your own or if you're just in a small group of people, or just a couple of you, then Hounds Hill Shopping Centre car park is, it's a really good idea to park. The only thing that I would say, it is really, really tight. So we had to be really careful with the car. It's probably one of the tightest car parks that we've been in terms of driving up the levels and down the levels. But generally, it's fine. I think it holds around 700. There's about 700 car parking spaces, maybe a few more. And on every level, these disabled spaces and also parent and child spaces as well. But yeah, like I said, it is very tight just driving around them. So if you've got a small car, you'd be fine. But if you've got a large car, then you've just got to be really, really careful. If there is quite a big queue for the machine, you can just pay on the exit barrier and just pay by card. It doesn't accept cash, but just tap your card and it lets you out. Because we were there, I think over maybe 8 or 9 hours, it was £14 to pay to park, which actually isn't too bad. So that is the 24-hour charge, and if you know that your car's safe, and there's quite a lot of people there, I would definitely recommend going there. On the way home, Luke were really just like reflecting on everything that he'd seen that day, and just being part of that experience. And he were really kind of upbeat and really just reflective. And his mind just blows me away all the time, because he remembers the names of everybody. So the names of everybody that was auditioning, the music that they were either dancing to, or what songs they were singing. And his memory is just incredible, so it just really blows me away every time. But it were really nice to kind of just see that and actually see the other side of how Britain's Got Talent is filmed, and how they do the transitions, and from audition to audition, and also how they get audience reactions as well. So I won't spoil things for you, but if you do want to go and it's something that you'd feel like it is something that you'd maybe want to experience, definitely look at the Applause Store website. And you create an account, you request a ticket. So you say how many tickets do you want, what date, what time, and then if you are successful with getting a ticket, they will send that to your inbox. When you get there on the day and at the ticket exchange, once you've got your wristband and you've got your ticket, then you're guaranteed entrance. But before that time, you're not. There's always a chance that tickets might have gone. But I would say just get there early, give yourself plenty of time, don't be rushing, and then you should be absolutely fine. And yeah, it were a really good experience. We'll definitely be looking for other things that come up. We've been trying to get tickets for Gladiators for quite a while, and we haven't been lucky enough, but we do feel really lucky that we've been able to go see Britain's Got Talent, and just see how everything works. And we also met the judges as well, which were really nice. But yeah, it's a great experience. Luke felt really comfortable being there. The atmosphere were great. I think Applause Dog did an absolute brilliant job. The only thing that I would say is that because they didn't check his actual access card, and on an access card, if you haven't seen one, it does have different symbols on there depending on what accessibility support that people need, and it can be different from person to person. So because on the website it does say that you can go into a different entrance, they didn't actually then follow that for us. But people that did need step free, obviously that was they were very well supported there. But yeah, for us, I would say they didn't actually check his card and see what support he did need, what additional support. So if you do have one of them cards, or if you don't, we actually got ours through Nimbus Disability last year, and it has been really helpful. So, but yeah, I would say for Winter Garden staff and for Applause, so just to check the cards if you do see it, and then you can put things support in place for them. But overall, it was a great experience, and we would definitely do it again. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you next time, and we'll share more videos and more accessibility options when we go and visit other places. But thank you, we'll see you soon.